All right, guys, you saw that title. Today we have Matteo Franceschetti on the podcast. Now, Matteo is the co-founder and CEO of a company you may know, 8 Sleep, the sleep fitness company. Now, 8 Sleep was named one of Fast Company's most innovative companies in 2018 and has raised over $150 million in funding from leading investors. One of the big goals of 8 Sleep is to reduce the time needed for recovery from 8 hours to less than 6 hours. And we got a lot of great practical tips from Matteo on how to optimize our sleep in this episode. So because the mattress's patented temperature control technology, 8 Sleep has been nicknamed the Tesla of sleep. And you know how much we like Teslas. And sleep optimization is a massive part of your fitness journey. So you're going to learn a lot in this episode with Matteo on how to optimize that and get the most out of your sleep. Enjoy this one.
I'm going to start over. Sorry. Okay, we're good to go now.
We're good?
Yeah.
Matteo Franceschetti. Or Franceschetti.
Okay.
You're part Italian. Why the fuck don't
I
you
know, we're childish over here. Or at least I am. I just keep saying that his name's making me hungry, but it's probably just because I'm fat.
Matteo Franceschetti.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah.
I dig that.
Dig it too.
Yeah, how did we find this guy in SEMA?
He's the CEO of a company that we work with, 8 Sleep, who makes the amazing mattresses.
How the hell do you make a mattress? I mean, there's like springs and shit in there.
No springs in the 8 Sleep mattress, actually.
No springs on me.
Not in the mattress, yeah.
Damn.
Or the mattress.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. And then it does ship in a pretty big box, but you're like, how is a king size mattress inside this box? But then you open it up and it's like, okay. And then, dude, it was like, whoa. I'm like, do I have enough room for this?
Yeah.
Oh, they just have somebody sit on it, right? As they wrap it, they fold it out and have someone sit on it.
Or
I do wonder how to do that, though.
I was going to say somebody with a very powerful suck to get all the air out.
Yeah, that's what they do, right? They got some sort of packing thing that
Oh my God, yeah.
sucks all that air out of there and crumples it down into a... But it's kind of weird because the box is deceivingly heavy too.
Yeah.
Because it has a mattress in there. But I think it's cool. I don't know. I'm not aware of what some of the other companies do that make similar products, but I don't think they make mattresses, do they?
No. Like, I think the only other company that makes the technology like 8 Sleep, the cooling technology, is the Chili, but they don't have a mattress that they use along with it. But
it just seems like a tough way to do it. And so congrats to them on like figuring that out, because a lot of people don't have great mattresses. And I think that, that's, one extra benefit is that you're not only gonna, I mean, if you want, you can just buy the top if you're already happy with your bed. But I like the fact that you can dive in and get a better mattress, because most people need a better mattress. Most people are not sleeping on a mattress that really fits their needs and is really of good quality. And a lot of people don't want to spend their money there because they're thinking like, oh, well, what's really the difference? But you spend so much time, or at least you should be, if you got good sleep hygiene, spending minimum of 6 hours, and hopefully you're getting closer to 7 or 8 every single night, every single day.
Yeah.
So it's important.
I got a notification just now, actually. It said, your sleep fitness is on a roll. Last night, you hit your sleep duration goal by sleeping 7 hours and 19 minutes. And no, it's really dope. Like, it tracks your heart rate, tracks your respiratory rate, your heart rate variability. You'll know if, like, you're sleeping well. It's like, it's really sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, my bed sends me text messages also. It's my best friend, I guess, my only friend. But yeah, it says a new HR alert. Feeling well rested today. There's no coincidence. Your resting heart rate was 6% lower than usual last night. And I did wake up feeling pretty damn rested. My son slapped the shit out of me at it was probably like around 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
He rolled over and it just smacked. I'm like, oh fuck, like okay. But I felt pretty good. And then
how old is your son? Like 15?
Yeah, give or take. A little bit over 9 months. But my watch had went off also, and it showed that I was like already at like 90% rested, and I still had time to sleep. And so I'm like, dude, this is crazy. And yeah, sure enough, like the bed told me that, and I feel pretty good today, man. Like I'm excited.
Dude, I was dying when I was traveling.
Oh no!
I'm like, I need to bring the 8 Sleep top with me everywhere I go. My wife too. We were dying. We were like cold, and then we were hot, and then we were like, I don't know, we're just all screwed up the whole time. Like, I can't fall asleep. I'm like just laying here sweating. So it makes a huge difference.
Yeah, and then right now that it's getting colder, I've adjusted my mattress to be a little bit warmer. Not warm, but warmer than it was. And then my wife...
what number is it?
So right now I'm at -7.
That's warmer for you?
Yeah, I had it at -10 the whole time.
That's true. Okay.
So now that it's at 7, because man, dude, I would get in at -10 and I'm like, oh shit, I think I spilt water on the bed. Like, what's going on here?
I don't know if they make a top that has 3 different things, but they should for us because, Andrew's got his particular way, you got your particular way, I got my particular way, and if we're going to be sharing a bed together,
we can have
as much as we've been, it would be good to get like a third one in there down the middle.
Power Project Special Edition.
Want to know something revolutionary that I saw while I was traveling?
Oh, God. What'd you see?
You guys aren't going to believe this. You're going to be blown away. In Copenhagen, individual blankets for like a king-size bed.
Like just a long...
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 2 separate blankets.
They don't expect
everyone. And then we weren't like fighting over the blankets. We weren't like pulling them off each other.
Yeah, you just had your own.
It was dope. It worked
bad.
great. I was like, "How? This ain't going to work. It's going to be weird. It's not going to work." But it totally worked.
Huh.
Yeah.
Maybe. This is in the hotel, right?
Yeah.
Maybe they just don't make king-size blankets there.
Maybe not.
Maybe they just
Copenhagen has a...
Maybe they would be blown away that we make one. Maybe they'd be like,
they'd be like, what the heck, Ballin?
Modern technology. Holla.
You guys see this? Like they were at the DMV for you.
Oh, my God.
Have to tell that story.
Oh, yeah. When they're like, this guy's rich or whatever.
Wait, what happened?
Because Mark had to... Or you tell it. Sorry.
Something happened like at the DMV where they were like... they were just like, like it's like a $5 charge or whatever to do it this way or whatever. And I was like, I don't. Oh, they were just saying like you shouldn't do it that way because it costs $5. And I was like, I just don't care, since it was already like they were already processing it.
Yeah.
And the guy that was like working with me, he's like, yo, this guy's rich. He said to like people behind him, and the lady came over and she's like, oh shit, must be nice. And they're all like laughing.
Everybody, look at this guy. He don't care.
It was seriously whatever the charge was like $8 or whatever. It was hilarious. And the guy's like, shit, man, $8. He's like, I can't believe it. He was just like, he's messing around.
That's funny. But real quick before I forget, so we've been talking about 8 mattress. They're incredible. I have the mattress and the topper. So is Ensema. Mark has just the topper because he has his own mattress that he was already using previously. So if you do have your own mattress, you can just get the topper, or if you're like us and you wanted to get both, you can, and you can do so at 8sleep.com. That's EIGHT sleep.com/power project. We will receive $150 automatically off the topper or the mattress and the topper. No code needed. Just when you guys go to that website, you'll see a banner across the top saying that you're automatically going to save $150 off. Again, that's at 8sleep.com/power project. Links to them down in the description, as well as the podcast show notes.
How are you guys using yours? Are you having it do anything special to kind of wake you up? Like, because the mattress and the topper or whatever can vibrate, right? Mm-hmm. Or you can just have just a certain type of temperature change, right?
Yeah, I have mine. So again, like I start out the night at -7, and then when I'm in REM sleep or whatever, it's at like -2. Or I forgot if it's deep sleep, REM sleep, whichever one. And then as like the night goes on, it actually bump up to like +2. So it's a little bit warm. So like I don't wake up, like there's no chance of getting me up. But then as it gets closer to 5 a.m., it gets really hot. It gets uncomfortably hot. And then at 5, it starts to vibrate around like my shoulders. And so it slowly wakes me up, and it doesn't like jolt me out of bed.
Gives you a little pinch on the butt. Too.
Yeah, a little something like that. And then on top of that, it doesn't wake anybody else up, which was like a huge problem with an alarm clock. With a baby, it's like, if I wake him up, like I am like not a nice person anymore, So that's how I do it.
Yeah, I don't do anything. I don't use the alarm because I wake up at the same time, like every day. So I just like generally just wake up. I do have it pretty cold at night though, and then it does it. So either you can set the way you want it to go through the night, as in like you can set it when you want it to heat up and cool down, but I just let it automatically do it based off of what it tracked in my heart rate and the way I sleep. It's set up a way that it heats up towards the time that I typically wake up, and it's been working great. Yeah, like my sleep's been pretty uninterrupted.
Either I just set it to like the coldest temperature pretty much, and I just kind of roll with that. And I think it gets a little warmer about an hour or two after I'm sleeping. Yeah, something like that, because then it's too cold. At some point, you're like, holy shit, that's cold. At first, I thought I'd be able to deal with it, but it gets a little too chilly.
Yo.
How you doing?
What's up?
We're doing great. How are you doing?
Good, good. Excited to be here.
Yeah, first of all, thank you so much for having your company sponsor our podcast. We really appreciate it.
No, we're welcome and excited.
Let's just kind of dive in, if you don't mind. How did you get this company started, and kind of what led you down this path to start 8 Sleep?
Yeah, I used to be an athlete, and so I have always been in performance and recovery. And so at a certain point, while I was then I became an entrepreneur. And so I started looking into my sleep and seeing, why do I have to sleep 8 hours? So I started reading a bunch of medical and stuff, and I realized that there is no real reason. It's just the time that currently takes to our body to fully recover. And then I started wondering why Elon Musk is taking me to Mars, and I still spend a third of my life on a piece of dumb phone. Why technology is not helping me? And that is how everything started.
Do you believe that if people have higher quality sleep, that they may not need 8 hours of sleep?
Yeah, I think we can compress sleep down to 6 hours.
Is that what you've seen? Yeah. Is that what you've seen a lot with people that have been using the mattress?
Yeah, obviously we are not at 6 hours yet. That is where we want to be, but we already see people gaining minutes in terms of time asleep to gain the same sleep quality. Our customers, they fall asleep 20% faster. They get 40% less toss and turns, 30% less wake ups, up to 40% more deep sleep. And so we are really improving the sleep efficiency, which then means you can still sleep 8 hours and just be way more refreshed, or you can sleep less but still feel great.
Why lean towards temperature? A lot of people have experimented with like supplements and a lot of different ways to sleep. What made you kind of lean towards that? Were you kind of seeing some research or a trend in being able to help someone's body temperature to help them go to sleep better or help them get into a deeper sleep?
Yeah, there is plenty of medical evidence that temperature is the big elephant in the room when you talk about sleep optimization. And this is also now proven. If you start talking to people, they will start telling you, look, I fight with my partner because my partner wants to sleep warmer, I want to sleep colder, or sometimes they feel cold in the middle of the night but hot in the first part of the night. And the other big thing is we're not really reinventing the wheel. Your body temperature is already changing during the night, and so we just enhance these changes, which is your circadian rhythm and cycle. And so through temperature, again, there is plenty of evidence. You fall asleep faster, you get more deep sleep, you get less wake ups and less toss and turns.
How does it because when I started using my mattress, right, it would track the way I slept for a while, then it would do its thing in terms of how much it raises the temperature and whatever towards the where I wake up. How does the mattress know what to do, or the topper? Because I guess that's the technology of the mattress topper.
Yeah. So we use a couple of different biometrics. So on one side, we look at your heart rate, heart rate and HRV, respiration and sleep stages. We look also simply at the weather. We look at things like toss and turns. And so in the future, particularly as we keep developing our machine learning models, there will be all these factors that will be taken into consideration, and the adjustment will happen in real time. We will be able to adjust temperature also based on things like what time you trained, because let's say you just train 1 hour before going to bed, probably your heart rate is accelerated and your body temperature is higher. We can adjust it. We will adjust based on if you had alcohol or not. If you just tell us, or you use any wearable that might know it, because obviously wearable alcohol changes your body temperature and your heart rate and HRV. And so we're just at the beginning. I always tell my company we are just at 1% of what we want to build. But there are many factors that impact temperature.
What have you seen in terms of food? We've heard all kinds of different things on this show from many people that study sleep. Have you noticed that, like, if some people have their last meal 2 to 3 hours before their sleep, that they end up with better sleep? Or have you noticed it assists people to fall asleep better if they have a kind of small snack before they go to bed?
Yeah, good question. And I'll share a couple of things. So first, there is some research that says that, for example, if you eat carbs, you will fall asleep faster, but the quality of your sleep should be lower, right? So you will feel groggy, you will fall asleep, but then the quality during the night will not be great. Personally, I'm usually on a keto diet. I cheat on Friday night when I have pizza with my wife. Every Saturday morning, my biometrics proved that my heart rate at rest was higher than usual, and my HRV recovered less than usual. So at least for me, carbs and pizza, they have a negative impact. Then we have a tag in the app, and one that is called late meal. We see a lot of customers tagging late meal, and that usually is correlated with poor quality of sleep. Usually you should stop eating 3 to 4 hours before going to bed.
Have you noticed that includes like maybe even something smaller, like a protein shake or anything like that? Have you kind of noticed, if it's not maybe a full meal, maybe you could still get away with having something a little closer to bedtime?
We don't know that. We are not asking yet. We will. I would imagine that if it's something lighter, and probably is not obviously sugar or carbs, it might have a smaller impact or maybe no impact. Definitely, we know carbs has an impact. A full meal has an impact, and obviously alcohol is the other big factor, right? If you have alcohol before going to bed, you will screw your sleep performance.
You did mention HRV, and a lot of people have heard the term HRV or heart rate variability, and there's a lot of different explanations for it. But for athletes or just people, because you'll see it on the app, it tracks your HRV every single night. What does HRV tell you?
So HRV is a great proxy about how rested you are, right? And you want HRV to be as high as possible. So the higher, the better. And so HRV, the number is different from every person. So you should just try to understand your baseline. And in our case, we show you what is your baseline. And then you can start playing with your fitness, your nutrition, and then you see how that impacts your sleep. But the bottom line is when you go to bed, your HRV will be probably the lowest of the day. And you want to see the delta and recovery compared to when you wake up in the morning. And again, the higher, the better. And if it's higher, it means you are fully rested and you can train harder that day.
Do you sleep well? I know for some entrepreneurs and for some people that are getting after it every day, for some folks, it's difficult. Are you good at sleeping?
I'm pretty good. I still have what is called restless legs, that are these sort of cramps that sometimes I have in the middle of the night, but I tend to sleep more than 8 hours per night. So I sleep quite a bit. I'm obviously doing everything to optimize my sleep. From sometimes I do sauna and ice bath, so what I call a thermal shock. Sometimes I take some supplements. I do kind of mobility exercises before going to bed. All the lights in my house, they switch to orange a couple of hours before going to bed to stimulate melatonin. And obviously temperature is the other big factor. So the whole temperature of the bedroom and the bed is optimized for my sleep performance.
I've had a lot of cramps in my legs over the years as well, but I found that electrolytes seem to help quite a bit, along with magnesium supplementation. Yep. Not necessarily that I've noticed those things helping my sleep at all, but I did notice that they definitely assisted in me not having cramps as much. So have you noticed anything like that yourself? Have you played around with some different things that may have helped the leg cramps?
Yeah, there are some studies that, they talk about magnesium and electrolytes. I tried them. It's always hard, or at least it was hard for me to have a real statistical evidence if they are working or not, but it seems they are. So I would recommend everyone just try and see if they have a positive impact.
Personally, are there because on the app also, there's a meditate section, a breathe section, a listen, and a move section on the app, just for good sleep practices. So for you, I noticed you mentioned that you do some mobility sometimes, et cetera, but what would your suggestions be for individuals as far as pre-sleep rituals? Just because a lot of people, they'll be on their phone right before they go to bed, but they don't really have a practice or something they do to wind themselves down before they go to sleep.
Yeah, that is a great question. Yeah, in the app, we provide breathing exercises and meditation. At the end of the day, what I always say is, I don't think the problem is the phone itself, is what you're doing at the phone, right? If you're chatting with friends, with one of your closer friends, you're just having some fun and relaxing, that's completely fine. If you're now working on emails and you just received a stressful email from one of your customers, then it could be pretty bad, right? And then your mind keeps going. So to me, it's first, okay, what are you doing at the phone? Are you reading? Are you chatting with friends? Try to take it easy, at least 1 hour before going to bed. Try to wind down and do things that put you in a positive mood. Maybe it's gratitude or just help you relax. The other thing to me that works really well is, again, this thermal shock. You can just do it with shower, and you keep switching between hot and cold shower, 30 seconds each. That will help you relax. Or if you are in an hotel and if you can take a sauna and an ice bath, that will take all the stress away. Or then, you can just do meditation and breathing. There is plenty of medical evidence that they both help you to just wind down and relax before bed.
Millions of people suffer from sleep apnea. Do you guys have anything in the works to try to research that and try to... It seems to be really complicated because as a former power lifter, and being around big people for over the years, it kind of makes sense that some of these bigger people suffer from sleep apnea. But even when people lose weight, and I even know, I think Andrew ends up having some issues with snoring. I know some people that aren't particularly huge that still have issues with this. Is there you guys looking into anything like that could perhaps help some folks that have sleep apnea?
Yeah, the most interesting thing is this. There is a large segment of population that has sleep apnea, but I would say, based on what I read, 50 to 70% of them, they don't even know they have sleep apnea, which is interesting and dangerous, right? The reason is, maybe now you're snoring, you just say, I'm just snoring, my partner told me, but I don't want to go to a sleep clinic, it's too invasive and it's a pain. And so one of the things that we will solve will be to potentially identify sleep apnea for all our customers in the future. The other big thing is, obviously, if you have a very heavy sleep apnea, you will likely need a CPAP machine, which sucks. But if you have a light or mild sleep apnea and you just want to monitor it, to make sure that it's not now becoming deeper and heavier, that is where we can help as well. Because with our product, you don't have to wear anything, but we will be able to monitor your respiration.
Go ahead.
I was going to ask, so, with the different types of sleep, right? Light sleep, deep sleep, REM sleep, which phase of sleep helps us feel more rested? Or is it just like, in general, getting more sleep? Because like we were just talking before you came on, how today I feel fantastic today. Like I got really great sleep last night. My 8 Sleep app mentioned that my HRV was lower today, and that's probably why I feel more rested. But if there was a certain type of sleep that I would try to get better at, which one is it that will help make me feel more rested the next day?
Yeah. So at the end of the day, what really matters is deep sleep and REM, right? And they should be anywhere between 18 and 25%. Usually if they're above 20 is what will be, a pretty good sign and recommended. And so you're really talking about probably around 2 hours each, right? If you think 8 hours and you're saying 25%, 2 hours of deep and 2 hours of REM is what would be optimal. Then it could be an hour and a half, but you want to be in that range. And deep sleep is the part that is really important for your physical body to recover. So in particular, if you are an athlete, that is what now you should heavily look at. But then also the REM part is extremely important, but that is more focused on your brain, right? And so making sure that you are reallocating all the information that you have collected during the day. And so as an athlete, for example, even if you're just learning a new movement that you want to fine tune, REM is still very important for you. REM is also the phase of the night when we dream. And usually it tends to be predominant in the second part of the night, while instead in the first part of the night, deep sleep is what is predominant.
And if we don't So, I mean, I don't know if I dream and I just forget them or if I just completely don't dream anymore, but I usually don't remember, or I don't think I have dreams. Last night I did dream. Halo just came out and I was playing Halo late last night, and I dreamt about playing Halo, so I definitely had a dream last night. But more often than not, like I'm talking like maybe a couple times a month, I will remember that I had a dream. Does that mean that I'm not getting my REM sleep, or could it be something else?
It could be that you just don't remember them. I struggle to remember them as well, but I still have a healthy amount of REM. So there is where sleep trackers like 8 Sleep or others could become valuable. So you just check your metrics and you make sure that REM and deep are in the healthy state. At the same time, it could be that maybe you don't have REM, and at that point, you should. We could take it offline and we could explore different tests that you could do to improve your REM percentage and quantity.
I'm curious, since you know a lot about wearables, since the mattress itself tracks all these metrics, which is fucking amazing. But what wearables do you think would be something that people could look into that would actually be good for sleep? Because things like the Apple Watch or the Oura rings, yeah. But which ones do you think do a good job of it?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I think the whole wearable market will keep improving a lot, right? All these companies, including ourselves, they keep developing new sensors. And so sometimes, 5 years ago, people were saying, oh, some of these devices are not very accurate, but day after day, we are all becoming more accurate. In our case, we are comparable to a medical grade EKG, which is the device to track your heart rate. We are within 1 heartbeat per minute compared to a medical grade EKG, right? Wow. So, and I'm sure the same is happening to other wearables. So there are companies like us and others. I think the advantage that we have compared to some of these other players is, in our case, you don't have to wear or charge anything. I don't like to have a wearable on my wrist at night because I put my hand under the pillow. It's super annoying. Yeah. I don't like to charge them because sometimes I forget to charge it, or I struggle when I travel because then I need to remember their charger. And then I don't have it. And so this thing, when I need it because I'm traveling, is not useful. But at the end of the day, it's a personal choice. Again, in our case, nothing to wear. Then there are some rings. Then there are other wearables that you just put on your wrist. What you will see is that all these devices are becoming extremely accurate in terms of heart rate. So the heart rate is a metric that you can really trust most of the times. It's almost medical grade accurate or very close. The second dimension would be respiration, which is still important for snoring, sleep apnea. Temperature can be very accurate. And sleep is actually probably still the least accurate, because the most accurate way to track your sleep will be through EEG, so through brain waves. But to collect your brain waves, you will have to wear a device on your head, which customers don't want to wear. And so what wearables are doing is they are inferring sleep through other metrics, which are heart rate, respiration, and movement.
And the respiration thing was pretty freaking cool. One thing that I noticed is that I use mouth tape when I sleep. Okay, so there's so that I like breathe through my nose when I sleep. And one thing that I noticed is that when I use mouth tape, I always need less sleep. Like I always wake up 30 to 45 minutes earlier than if I don't use mouth tape. It's pretty consistent too. But I also noticed that my respiration goes down by like one breath. So have you how does it track respiration? How important is that for people to pay attention to? Because the average is 12 to 20. And have you messed with mouth tape, or have you talked to people who mess with mouth tape at all?
Not much. I mean, I have read a bunch about that. I didn't try it yet. So this is super interesting for me. Thank you for sharing. We should actually probably add a tag in the app so people using it, they can tag it. And then we can see deltas compared to people that are not using it, or you could just A/B test yourself with and without. Obviously respiration was super important during COVID, and it's still important because there's still COVID around. Is also another metric that changes also over time. There is another big value that we have as 8 Sleep is our retention. Once you buy our product, you keep using it every single day for multiple years. And so the interesting thing is your heart rate today and your respiration today is different from your heart rate and respiration in 3 years from now. And so just setting these baselines and see how they change over time, they will start helping us to give you information about how you're aging and your general health trends.
What do you think the possibilities are for the future? Since like it does track everything for years of people who are using the mattress. So for those people who have been using the mattress for a long time, maybe what things could they be looking forward to?
Yeah, look, last week I received a message from our customer saying that we just saved his life, right? And he used the word, "You guys saved my life." This person was now feeling well. He checked his metrics. The metrics were all over the places, and he went straight to ER and he got into a surgery immediately. So we are going to save lives. We already saved the first one, at least the first one that we know. Probably we already saved a couple. And our goal is to save millions of lives just by measuring your health every single day and night.
It should be noted that people die from sleep apnea. I think that sometimes people don't recognize that as a problem, but one of the great American football players, Reggie White, he unfortunately died, and I have a friend that also died from sleep apnea. So it's something that if somebody believes they have it, they should really investigate it. What about being able to track other metrics, like maybe your glucose or maybe your insulin, or being able to find other things to track during your sleep?
Look, the big advantage we have compared to wearables is we have a lot of space, right? And because our price point is obviously higher than the one of a wearable, at the same time, we have more flexibility in introducing new sensors, right? For us, adding a $5 sensor doesn't really move the needle in terms of our margins. And so what you will see over the next few years is we will leverage this space and this price flexibility, and we will add sensors that no other company can afford. So we are looking at technologies for body scanning. In 3 to 5 years from now, going to bed will be more valuable than going to your doctor for an MRI. We will scan your body every single night.
That's amazing. In the topper, like, where is some of these sensors? Because like I know for sure that the things that vibrate to wake me up in the morning, they're like right around my shoulder area, which is perfect. But like everything else, like I'm just like amazed at the technology that's inside it. And I was just kind of looking at it the other day, and I'm just like, where are all these sensors? So I'm just curious, like physically, like where are they? Are they throughout the entire thing, or are there certain points that match up with your body?
There are certain points that we studied and tested for a while in order to make sure that they were the best spots to pick up your biometrics, right? In particular, heart rate and respiration. And then over time, we will keep adding more and more sensors. Almost every year, as we release a new product version, there will be new sensors distributed across the whole bed. Obviously, you don't feel them because they are embedded in the bed or the cover itself, but they are there.
Pat Project family, what's up? Have you guys ever been working out and maybe you got a calf cramp, hamstring cramp, or ab cramp? Well, that's probably because you might be electrolyte deficient. That's why we've partnered with LMNT Electrolytes, because most of the time when that happens, you're like, oh, I need to drink a lot of water, but you actually need to replenish your electrolytes. And LMNT comes in these easy to use packets that have 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, and 60 milligrams of magnesium. Pour it into some water, drink it up, and trust me, you're not going to be suffering cramps anymore in the gym, when you're out, whatever you're doing, you're going to be well hydrated. Andrew, can you tell the people how to get it?
Yes, you guys got to head over to drinklmnt.com/powerproject. We highly recommend that you get a value bundle because you're going to get 4 boxes for the price of 3. Get any 4 flavors you want, but you're only going to pay for 3 of them. That's again at drinklmnt.com/powerproject. Links to them down in the YouTube description as well as the podcast show notes. Head over there right now.
You mentioned tracking sleep through your head. Why not potentially put some sort of tracking device on like an eye mask or something like that?
Yeah, we're exploring those options as well. The challenge is always, will people wear it? And will they wear it consistently, right? Because the last thing you want is, okay, they buy the device, they use it for 20 days, and then they stop using it because they need to charge it because it's uncomfortable. And so at that point, it's not valuable for the customer and it's not valuable for us because there is no long-term retention. So one of the pillars of the company of 8 Sleep is really, can we develop contactless technologies? So you don't have to wear or charge anything, but they still track and measure your health. Then if we cannot achieve it in a contactless version, then we will develop a wearable.
That's okay. I see. So a tracking pillow, perhaps.
Have you guys, because I know you guys like work with different sports teams and a lot of top level athletes. So I'm just curious on the trend that you've seen with those athletes, because a lot of people that listen to this podcast are athletes and they want to, they want to optimize their performance. So I think you guys work with like the Kings and there's some top level CrossFitters and strongmen that also sleep on the 8 Sleep. So can we talk about some of that?
Yeah, we have we work with the Kings. The Justin, who just won the CrossFit Games, is living on our product, and he's an 8 Sleep athlete. There's another 8 Sleep athlete who was having a major fight match a couple of weeks ago in New York, and then he reached out publicly saying, "I cannot sleep here without my pod. Please, ship me a pod." And so overnight, we were able to install a pod in his hotel before the match. And so that was pretty cool. And we have tennis players, we have NBA and NFL athletes. What they realized very quickly is first, temperature just improves the comfort and feeling of your sleep, but more than anything improves your sleep performance. And when you are an athlete, playing for a gold medal, there is nothing that you can leave on the table. And so you will see our products being used by more and more athletes. Every day, more athletes reach out to sleep on 8 Sleep.
How do you travel? When you travel, are you kind of frustrated that you don't have it with you at all times, or do you have some sort of special portable one that we don't know about yet?
Yeah, it sucks when I travel. It's actually the biggest pain point for our customers because at the end of the day, temperature, you just get used to that so easily and so quickly. It's like having a thermostat at home, right? Once you have it, you just say, how did I live without that? Think of going in a car without AC, like in the 80s, right? You say, how did they live in the 80s without AC in the car and just moving the windows up and down? Mm-hmm. So the same thing happens with the pod. But today, unfortunately, when you travel, you still go back to the 80s and you sleep on a piece of dumb foam that just becomes hot and you start struggling. And so that is the biggest aha moment for all our customers. And maybe customers can handle that, but for athletes, is a big pain, right? Like this guy, he just reached out to us. He tagged me on Twitter and said, I just need a pod. I can't sleep like that. And I can't compromise my performance. So we are exploring ideas about how to fix the problem when people travel.
The thing that I always end up talking about when I mention mattress, because it was the biggest thing for me. I'm a sweaty sweeper. I'm a sweaty sleeper, and you're a sweaty sleeper too. Mm-hmm. Like there'd be multiple mornings when I would wake up in a puddle of my own sweat. And then the worst part is, if I'm cuddling with somebody, they don't want to cuddle with a moist, sweaty dude. But this mattress, man, I can cuddle and wake up and we're still cuddling. And then it's great. Neither of us are sweating. It's perfect.
Yeah. 50% of the couples, they fight around temperature. This temperature is so personal. It's based on your gender, it's based on your size, it's based on your metabolism and all that. And so particularly between men and women, there are major differences. And so usually women tend to feel cold while men tend to feel hot. And so you need a personalized temperature setting.
Any specialized blankets in the works or pillows?
Yeah, the idea is how do we control the whole environment, right? And it's not just about temperature. We will tackle light, noise, air quality, potentially oxygen.
I'm curious about this. Most mattresses, whenever they're marketed, they're like, oh yeah, this mattress has different levels of stiffness, or you can get this version that's softer, stiffer, whatever, right? When you guys, the big thing is temperature, and then there's the pod itself, the actual mattress that comes in one level of stiffness, I believe. Is that big of a deal, or is this just something that mattress companies they market because that's what every other company markets? Because you don't see other companies marketing temperature. No other company really does that.
Look, in the bed space, there is a lot of BS, right? It's like when they try to sell you that you should buy a thicker mattress because it's more comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, you don't feel anything below 2 inches. Call it 4 if you want to have a lot of margin. So everything else is just there to justify a higher price. In terms of comfort, yeah, you probably have a different preference from mine, but once you pick it the first night, then that's it for the rest of the lifetime of the product. And so we don't want to charge customers $5,000 for something that they use once. At that point, we use data to identify different type of firmnesses. Right now, we offer one. Maybe in the future, we offer multiple. But you shouldn't pay $5,000 for that. Maybe pay $20 just because we buy a different layer of foam. At the end of the day, foam is just a commodity. You could start a mattress company today. You just call a foam manufacturer. I can give you the number, and they will ship you the mattress at $300. But then they charge you $1,000, or they charge you $2,000, and it's just a scam.
Yeah, with all the technology that's in the mattress and in the app, how easy is it for 8 Sleep to send firmware updates and that sort of thing? Because it is kind of a higher price point to get in, and I would just hate to have purchased the 8 Sleep mattress and then all of a sudden, a couple weeks down the road, it's like, oh, here's the new Pod Pro. So what's the, how long is the life cycle of one of these mattresses, and how easy is it for new updates and new features to be implemented inside a mattress with what's already inside right now?
Yeah, absolutely. That is why our customers, they call us the Tesla of sleep, which is something we are really proud of. And the reason is you get software updates. So you wake up one morning, and by the time you go to bed that same night, your product will have more features, right? So actually the value of your investments keeps going up over time. There is almost capital gain. And the reason is all these features are shipped through your Wi-Fi for free. And so your product, you buy a product today, but in 1 year from now, it might have 2-3x more features. It will be 2-3x more accurate because our algos keep improving, and they are just shipped to a firmware update. So that is the real disruption here. It's not even what you buy today, is what the pod today will become in 1 year, 2 years, and 3 years from now.
I own my own business and have some of my own inventions and creations and stuff, but I find that what you've done and what your company has done to be kind of mind-boggling in my opinion, because I'm like, how the hell did this guy figure out how to make a mattress and then put all this technology? What were some of the key components in being able to start this company? It sounds like, just in my estimation, I would assume that you have previous businesses that you must have started to where you kind of had some knowledge going into this on how to have a plan of attack. Did you assemble a really good team? Was that kind of one of the key ingredients, or how do you see it?
Yeah. So this is my third business. But yeah, I would say the key was first, obviously, the founding team. So my co-founders, they were all extremely relevant. In particular, one of my co-founders, Max, he's the CTO. He's the technical genius who can build a spaceship in the garage in one night. And so he was able to build the first prototype. Wow. And obviously there is Alexandra. She runs all our branding and marketing. But all the original people have been key. Obviously, hardware is hard, right? And I had to move to China for a couple of months at a certain point because we were not finding a manufacturer. And so I went to my wife and I say, look, I'm going to China. And she says, oh, cool. When? Tomorrow. She said, oh, wow. And when are you back? And I say, oh, once I have fixed the problem. And she say, okay. And so bottom line, I think I was there for a couple of months. And then I finally, was able to come back. And so it's not easy. I had no experience in hardware at all. None of the co-founders had experience. And so you just need to be resourceful and go through the pain.
How did you find a good team? Because I think that's really difficult process to try to go through. How did you find some of these people to put this kind of dream team together here?
It takes time. It requires you to be very passionate about the mission, because at the end of the day, in particular in the early days when you didn't already prove product market fit, people just really bet on the other people in the team, and you need to sell them a vision. And you will make mistakes, in particular if you don't know hardware and you need to hire hardware people, right? It's extremely difficult. So then some investors or other friends with experience in the field, they might help.
One thing I want to know is, like, you know, you started this company, you had 2 other businesses, but I don't know, maybe I'm not noticing. How did you come to focus on sleep? Because I don't know what other businesses you were in before, if it was something within the health space, but now just dumping into, I'm going to make really dope temperature controlled mattresses. I'm just curious how the idea came to be, because I think we were talking about this earlier. The only other product that we know that does something like this is maybe Chili, but they don't have near what this mattress topper has.
Yep. It was the combination of 2 things, good or bad. The first one is, as an entrepreneur, I wanted to sleep less and recover faster, so I could gain time. And that is how and why I started looking into sleep. Then, as a former athlete, I also started thinking, okay, what else can we do here? Can I enhance my recovery? Can I scan my body to identify early signs of illnesses? And so that is how everything started. And it was on my head for a couple of years before starting 8 Sleep, because that is when I started really wondering, why do I have to spend a third of my life on a piece of dumb foam? If you think the time you spend asleep every night is almost equivalent to fly from New York to Europe every single day. So you're taking an intercontinental flight every single night, but you spend that on a piece of dumb foam, and you're not putting any effort in maximizing that time. But that time is a lot of time. And that is how everything started. Then I was curious, started looking into research. Why do we sleep 8 hours? Can I sleep 6 hours? And the bottom line is, we don't need that light sleep. It's just our body being inefficient. What you really need is 25% of deep, 25% of REM, and then the rest maybe can be cut. And that is also how the name 8 Sleep came out, because 8 Sleep comes from 8 hours. We don't believe in 8 hours of sleep. We believe that you must be able to sleep only 6 hours and get the same amount of rest that you used to have when you were sleeping 8 hours.
Yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger has the legendary quote where he says, "I suggest that you sleep faster because you do spend so much time asleep." It's a big deal nowadays to try to find more things to assist with stress mitigation. People have a lot of stress, anxiety. We see more and more anxiety, depression, addiction. Just there's lots of stuff flying around these days that seems to be more prevalent than ever. And I think it is a really important factor that you work on your sleep. And sometimes I've tried a lot of different supplements over the years. I've tried a lot of different regimens, and I've never really found anything other than messing around with the temperature control and using your product to be able to actually really truly assist with my sleep. I've tried magnesium and zinc and just any suggestion anyone can think of that's listening to this right now. I've utilized all those things. I would say that stopping my eating early before bed, that was another thing that assisted quite a bit. But yeah, this technology has helped me massively, and I'm sure some of the listeners that have utilized the technology probably know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, temperature is, again, the big elephant in the room, is the 80-20 of sleep enhancement. That is why we started there. Then I think other things could be, sleeping in a completely dark environment. It could be eliminating any sort of noise. It could be air quality. It could be oxygen. You have heard of athletes sleeping in altitude tents, so we are looking into that as well. The idea is, again, in few years from now, the whole environment will be personalized and optimized to maximize your sleep, so you will sleep faster. And at the same time, during that time, we'll scan your body to detect any early sign of illness or potential injury if you are an athlete, right? So any sort of inflammation.
I always thought you should sleep in something that kind of looks like a coffin, or a tube or something like that.
With the helmet and all that stuff. I'm curious. So I hear a lot of, I'll say, non-athletes claim that they like, oh, I can't fall asleep, or my sleep sucks, I can't go to sleep, like I just sit there in bed and I don't fall asleep, I just sit there and twiddle my fingers or whatever. We had talked about being on your phone, but you had mentioned maybe it's like what you're doing on your phone is preventing you from falling asleep. What do you think are some of the things that people are general population, again non-athletes, are doing that's preventing them from falling asleep faster and staying asleep?
Yeah, I would say outside temperature optimization, I think alcohol has a major impact. Again, you should stop drinking 3 to 4 hours before going to bed. And it's also a matter of how much you drink, right? So 1 cocktail is different from 4 cocktails. Is the last meal of the day, when you had it and how heavy it was. And then I think it's a matter of winding down from things that keeps you stressed. Again, I don't think the problem is using the phone or not. The problem is what you're doing at the phone. If you're working or if you're reading or fighting with someone versus maybe talking to a close friend and closing the day with a positive attitude.
You mentioned earlier about being an athlete. What kind of athlete were you, and what do you do nowadays to kind of challenge your physicality and fitness?
Yeah, I was mainly a tennis player, but I have also been a ski racer, and then I race with cars quite a bit. That's why there is a helmet there with one of my trophies. And today I still play tennis. I still race cars from time to time, and then I just do a lot of heat, so high intensity interval training. And yeah, I try to stay fit and take care of my health. I'm on a keto. I fast. I usually eat once a day.
Oh, wow.
And I cheat from keto once a week on Friday night.
Yeah, you use a tremendous amount of fasting. You look like you're in great shape. You look like you're lean. So what's the reason for the implementation of so much fasting?
I just find it useful for my performance. I can perform the whole day without any drop in terms of energy or any grogginess. And my body works well. I have used CGMs for quite a while, and I have noticed that my glucose levels, they stay stable even if I don't eat. And I'm lucky that I don't get hungry. Well, for example, my wife tried to do the same, and I was pushing her to do the same. But then with the CGM, we noticed that her glucose levels were dropping below the minimum. And so it was not good for her. And this goes back to my point where health needs to be personalized. It's different for everyone. But yeah, in general, I love keto and fasting. They keep my energy up, and I'm able to perform at peak performance.
Do you do anything during your day to personally stave off hunger for yourself? Because at the beginning of October, we did something called Sober October, but none of us drink a lot of alcohol or do anything crazy. So these two are like, let's get rid of drinking coffee. And once I got rid of drinking coffee, I bitched out of it at like day 6. I was like, fuck you guys. I'm drinking coffee because fasting is harder. So for you, are you just able to not eat, or do you use tools to fight off hunger during the day?
Good question. By the way, I stopped drinking as well. I think now it's 2.5 years. I don't drink at all. So no
alcohol or coffee?
Alcohol. Okay. I still have coffee. Good. Yeah, I have around 2 espresso a day in terms of coffee. For food, most of the times, what I do if I'm hungry. At that point, I break the fasting with nuts or with berries. That's the only thing I eat if I'm really starving. Other than that, usually I just challenge myself and I wait until 7:37 p.m. when I eat.
I gotta ask, because you were talking about racing, is that a picture of your Z in the background? It looks like a Z. I'm not 100% sure, but is that one yours?
The one in the back?
Yeah, the car.
Yeah. No, yeah, that is just a model, and my wife bought it for me, but the helmet is my helmet, and that is when I finished 3rd at the 12 hours of Abu Dhabi. I raced with the Maserati GT. Yeah, and so we finished 3rd, and so I'm pretty proud of that accomplishment.
I bet keto and fasting definitely helps with that, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Oh my God, that's sick.
Awesome. Congratulations on all the success. We really, again, we appreciate you supporting this podcast, and we appreciate that you made a great product. Congratulations on all the success, and hopefully a lot more is coming down the road.
Thank you. Thank you very much, and thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for your time. Have a great day.
All right, see you later.
Yeah. Bye.
Yo, that was great. I'm excited to see, like, because it really is like the Tesla of fucking of mattresses, because like it's updating.
Oh, for sure. I think it helps too that when the CEO is a savage, you know.
Oh yeah.
When you see the guy that's behind it, and you know, that guy doesn't have to be doing some of the things he's doing. Like, he looks great. Like, he looks like he's really fit. Looks like he's in great shape. There's probably not a lot of reasons for him to, like, you know, only eat one meal a day. But it's helping him, you know, from a mental standpoint. So he leans into it. Leans into that discomfort a little bit.
And it's also, I find it dope that, like, the whole point of it is to try to sleep less. Because when you really do think about it, when I was younger, I didn't really think that much about the mattress I was sleeping on. I would just go to sleep, wake up, and be like, ugh, you know, whatever. Well, that was a good night, that was a bad night, but more average ass nights than good nights. But then once I actually started sleeping on a good mattress, specifically this one, I noticed a big difference. It's substantial when you actually pay attention to the thing you're sleeping on. I don't think a lot of people do that.
Yeah, no more guessing, right? You're just kind of like throwing darts at a board, like, oh, I got good sleep last night, I wonder why. Like, oh, I felt like shit again today, I wonder why. Now you actually have something that's going to track and tell you, like, hey, you're good to go today. Go, you know, have a workout, whatever you want to do. I like that.
I think most people need some help with their sleep, and they might not even just recognize it. Think back to when you were a teenager. You could sleep like a king, you know, you could sleep forever, and I mean, you really don't remember or recall like really being tired. Unless your parents were trying to make you do something you didn't want to do, and you were all of a sudden tired, right?
Just waking up early was hard, but once you get going, you have.
Well, it's because you went to bed late, right? But then you sleep till like 12 in the afternoon or some shit, depending on if you have any responsibilities for that day at all. But I think most people could use a little boost in their sleep, and so it's definitely worth looking into and worth giving a shot.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's so sick. And again, a really big cool thing, we've mentioned this before, is that, like, it's the technology. Like, the mattress is really dope, but if you already have a mattress and you're like, I just want to use my mattress, you can literally just get the top or put it on top of your mattress, and now you have an 8 sleep. The mattress is great too, but like you just put the topper on, so it works. You can just do that.
I'm fascinated by the fact that they're looking into oxygen and that sort of thing. That is really, really interesting. I've kind of felt this way a long time about sleep. I felt like you should be in some sort of pod. I don't know why. I don't know what happened to us along the way. I don't know why we're not as efficient at sleep as we like. I don't know. We should just naturally like fall asleep very easily, and you shouldn't really have any problems with it. But maybe just so much modern technology, maybe over the years, has kind of just thrown us off to the point where it makes it difficult for us to sleep because we have so much stimulation every single day.
Yeah, like being able to sleep like on the hard surface ground. Now, if I did that, I'd probably wake up with like a really bad back. Yeah. I'd be screwed. But then also the opposite. If I slept on something too soft, I'd feel the same way.
Yeah.
So who knows what happened?
Did you wake up with some wood after having that dream about playing that video game?
Dude.
Be honest, bro.
Hardest he's ever been, probably.
How did you
throbbing?
Were you there? Holy shit.
I know the 2 veins on the bottom are kind of weird, but, you know.
It's just on the right side.
Yeah, what else does that thing track that we don't know about?
Weren't you talking about that? You were talking about how it needs to track your boners to make sure that like your test levels are good.
Actually, that would be a good idea.
We should track your heart rate during sex.
Yeah.
Well, I know my watch does. Like
it does.
So
why do we go to? Why do we do this to ourselves?
Dude, but you had given him an idea about the mouth tape thing, like adding that in there. So we should say like, I don't know, did you have a boner when you woke up? And like, yes, I did. Oh, that explains why your bed has a hole in it, and you know, there's water everywhere.
But as Joel Green said, at least for men, that is a teller of health. Like, do you still have morning wood? Now, in all seriousness, like, do you still have morning wood? Yes. Cool. No.
might want to get that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might have to look into figuring out some more shit to do with your sleep. And, you can do at-home sleep studies.
Gotta do that.
I will work on trying to find a link for people. The name's not coming to me right now, but I will, maybe I can get it to you later and we can
notes.
Throw it in the show notes because, man, people they need to take this, they need to take it seriously. I mean, if you're trying to lift, you're getting some other form of exercise, you're trying to be lean, you're trying to gain muscle or whatever these particular goals are that you have, I mean, they're just going to be really kind of just not optimized if you're not getting proper sleep.
Yeah. If you want to live, honestly, thinking about it, they're definitely prolonging people's lifespans because sleep is where you recover. It's where your muscles recover. It's where your brain's able to, repair. So quite literally, the better quality sleep you get, bar tragedy, you will live a longer life.
I also wonder, it seems like women sleep way easier than us. And I don't know why, but I mean, at least my wife she goes to bed and she's just out cold and and then she's up in the morning swimming and just it's I don't know, it's maybe that's part of the reason why they live longer and stuff like that too. I don't know what it is with chicks, but I don't know.
Slight hypothesis. Okay, so he mentioned...
Don't go all Jordan Peterson on us.
No.
You're going to get us in trouble, bro.
No, he mentioned how women tend to be... they tend to prefer warmer temperatures, and men tend to prefer cooler mattress temperatures. I've noticed that too. They tend to prefer warmer. I always tend to prefer cooler. But most mattresses themselves are always going to be warm. If you're using a blanket and a mattress, most of the time you're going to be warm.
Well, it's got one way to go. It's not going to get cold.
It's not going to get cold. It's just going to get warmer, right? So ladies are usually getting better sleep, probably on average more than men.
Oh.
Right? I mean, if that's what their data, and they have thousands of data points from tens of thousands of men and women on a pod. So if that's the averages, that's probably the averages for people too.
Yeah, sometimes you just see women, when you're out in the street, sometimes you're just in a t-shirt and you walk by them and they're shivering and they got 2 jackets on or something.
Yeah.
You're like, damn, they're cold for whatever reason. But maybe for some particular instances, like going to sleep, maybe it's super helpful.
Yeah,
super useful.
Yeah, it makes sense. My wife has her side of the bed, I think, just +2 throughout the entire night.
+2 through the entire night? Bruh, my mattress would be wet if I did that. It'd just be, I'd be in a puddle.
Yeah. No, I don't. It's partially because Aurelius will go from his crib to our bed, so I think she doesn't want it too hot or too cold. But yeah, I don't know. I keep telling her just let it do its thing and let it adjust. But she's like, no, I want to make it so that way it's comfortable for him. Well, maybe it is comfortable for him.
Oh
yeah.
My wife just has some crazy genetics too, because I've struggled with sleep. I wake up a lot in the middle of the night, and I'll tell her about this or that, and she might have a bad night of sleep here or there. And I think maybe it was a couple weeks ago, I don't know, something was going on where she just didn't get much sleep for a little period of time, and she was just dying. I was like, that's the way I feel sometimes, because I that's kind of what I suffer from, because I wake up quite a bit and sometimes just have a hard time getting back to sleep. But I think overall, my sleep has improved a lot, especially since getting this. And one of the things that's hard for me is I just sometimes don't really want to sleep, and I don't know why. And I'm actually really not tired. It's rare for me to be tired, so that's the other side of it. I kind of think I can perform just fine with 5 or 6 hours of sleep. But what I always wonder is, if I slept a little bit more, if I had more optimal sleep, what does that look like? And so that's why I got an eye mask. I got the dark out shades or blackout shades or whatever. I got the temperature control going on with the 8 Sleep. I even wear an eye mask, and I'll throw on a mouth tape, and I'll just do whatever I can. I even got a mouthpiece. I'll just do it all.
Still hit the sauna before bed too?
Yep, still hit the sauna. That helps a lot. The sauna or the hot tub, or sometimes a combination of those two, or sauna contrast with the shower. It's just like I don't ever have a problem falling asleep though. That's really, really rare. I always can fall asleep fine. It's just the staying to sleep that is sometimes troublesome. But the hot tub and the sauna and those things, they definitely help me fall asleep even faster. It's kind of like being a little kid and changing into your pajamas and just getting all cozy and just passing out.
Yeah. And then, so like I said, last night I got really good sleep, and this makes me curious about potentially exploring a CPAP machine or something, because my wife said I didn't snore last night, and I feel great today.
What was the reason you didn't? Like, what did you do anything differently before you went to sleep?
I guess maybe I didn't eat nowhere close to my bedtime.
And you typically do?
And yeah, sometimes, whether it be like just like Smart Pop popcorn, or like a protein shake, or like maybe a bowl of cereal with protein or something, you know. But no, it's been pretty bad with snoring, right? But then last night I didn't eat because I was playing Halo, so I didn't eat, and then I went to bed. So maybe that was part of it, but I'll try it again tonight and see. But I'm curious, like, dude, what would this be like if I got this every night? Like, that would be awesome, because I don't, and it's kind of a bummer. It's
I wonder if there's anything in the days, like the days prior, that kind of led, because I always kind of think like you got like, I don't know, 2 or 3 day delay on like how stress and different things hit you. So maybe just things are clicking, and maybe you feel pretty good, and maybe you're able to get a little more peaceful sleep.
Well, we did have our podcast yesterday, and we were together again. So I think maybe you just had a good night's sleep, because
honestly, everything's back to normal. Everything is right in the world.
Yep, we got back together. I saw Andrew outside smoking that cigarette.
Yeah.
Never mind. Take us on out of here, Andrew.
All right, guys. Thank you for checking out today's episode. A huge shout out to Matteo and 8 Sleep Mattresses for sponsoring today's episode. Links to them down in the description below, but it's 8sleep.com/powerproject to save $150 off of these amazing mattresses and mattress covers. Links to them down in the description below, like I just said. And please follow the podcast at Mark Wells Power Project on Instagram, at MB Power Project on TikTok and Twitter. My Instagram and Twitter is at I am Andrew Z, at the Andrew Z on TikTok. And Sima, where you at?
And Sima Ending on Instagram and YouTube, and Sima Yin Yang on TikTok and Twitter. Mark?
Doing anything with your jiu-jitsu stuff on any of your social media? I don't really see you talk about jiu-jitsu on any of this stuff.
Just do it shirtless, oiled up.
Shirtless, oiled up jiu-jitsu. I mean, I talk about it every now and then, but I haven't recorded rolls much recently. I really should, and just post some stuff up every now and then. I also need to get back on YouTube. So that's I'm gonna do that too.
Cool. I was just wondering.
Yeah.
I'm at Mark Smellybell. Strength is never weakness, weakness never strength. Catch you guys later. Bye.